Hey everyone, it's me Hunter. I'm back with another Thompson Tank Engine video, and today I have Derek, the Diesel. Derek is a character that got very little screen time. He only had one episode dedicated to himself, and I believe he only makes a quick drive-by appearance in the Calling All Engines movie during what might have been like a music portion of the excuse me, of the movie. But I always liked Derek. He always stood out to me as a unique shape of the diesels, especially because so far, other than Mavis, I think at the time, all the diesels were rectangular. You had Boko, Airy, Bert. Um, I'm just saying because I watched it recently. The Thomas and Magic Railroad, Splatter, Dodge, the Class 8s, they were very rectangular. Boko's very rectangular. I finished building Bear, who, though he has those kind of sloped sides or ends, still very rectangular. And don't get me wrong, Derek is rectangular. But just the way he's designed with the cab in the middle, being taller, the kind of the lower ends on either side, I really liked it, and I went for it. For sure. I don't think this was a character that a lot of people probably expected me to make, and it might be a character that none of you wanted me to make just because you had other characters you wanted me to build. But here's Derek, and I think he looks fantastic. I think he has my second best face that I've done. My first, in my opinion, is my Toad face for Toad the Great Western Break Fan. Go ahead, check that video out. I think I talk about it in that video, especially for being very limited on Toad's face size. I think it came out phenomenal as one of my best, and I think Derek here takes the second place spot for sure. I just love the look. Portrays that big smile he has. I like the nose I used, and yeah, I can't complain. I think it's my second best face by far. Derek's biggest dilemma when it came to building this model was adding in detail in the right spots, the right amount of detail, and then the cab. Now you're probably looking at this character and like, Hunter, there's not a lot of detail here. And I'll admit, there's really not. The diesels, I've always kind of said that they're rectangles and they're kind of boring where the steam engines are round, and you have the cab in the back, and you can always change up the front, the buffer beam. So I feel you can always have a little bit of character and changing with the steam engine, even though it's the round boiler look. Where diesels, I feel, are very meh to look at. Derek here does suffer from that. I didn't do a lot of detailing on him. I do have the grill up front on either side, and I would have liked to put a second one behind it over here. However, just due to some mailing issues in my area, I didn't want to wait, a week and a half to get those parts in. In all honesty, I kind of just got eager and just want to get this character built. Because he's just sitting in my building area right now with me building Wellsworth. I don't have a lot of space to build, and he's been sitting in there for weeks. So probably almost months now, just because I had to wait for some parts to come in. I built a little bit, waited for parts, built a little bit more, waited for more parts. So I apologize for my voice too if it sounds a little off. But yes, this is what I went with. His horn, I ended up going with the golden binoculars. Kind of, I think, classic part choice, but it works. In truth, I didn't really research what his horn looked like, and then, to be fair, I didn't do that with Bear either. Unfortunately, unlike the steam engines, where I always be sure to look at their whistles and see if I can replicate it, diesels right now, I've been kind of playing the lazy game, where I just find one, maybe two pieces that work. There we go. That's the horn. It's great. But again, I do think this is a very clean looking model. Simple, yes, but I do think it's a very clean look. I wish I could get more detail on the sides. I know a lot of times with these diesels, they'll have the kind of compartment doors on the side that open, whether it's engine access or other access. So I was kind of a little sad I didn't get that detail in, especially on the back side. But the more I looked at it, the more I realized I was like, you know what? It's not that bad. Sure, with the detail, probably make it look better, yes, but what I have here right now, the smooth, clean look, I think looks nice. Now, Derek is the second larger diesel I've designed, which kind of has the ability to put a driver in the cab, kind of doesn't. With the doors being inset half a stud And with some changes I kind of made throughout, because initially I was going to try to motorize or power derrick, and then just the way the battery box sizes and some other stuff, it didn't work out because I didn't want to throw the proportions off any more than I felt like I did with the height of the cab. He'd ended up not being motorized, so I kind of just put the cab back together after ripping it apart. And I could get a figure in there, definitely, but I didn't really build an interior. Where Bear, I at least designed a small control panel, put a chair in. So like Diesel and like Philip, Derek's not going to have a driver, at least a driver you can see, where Bear does. And with Bear, that was definitely a big push because he's got the, either end can be driven from. He's got the, big windscreen in the front. I had to be sure to get a driver in on one side. I think that was very detrimental, just so the model didn't look too weird. Where Derek, I think we can kind of get away. I got these smaller windows on him. I think I can get away with not having a driver in the cab, though I do have a figure kind of built up. I went with a different uniform for the Diesel drivers, just because mainly I'm having a hard time wrestling all the figures. And by hard time, I mean me thinking about ordering some in. If all my engines need at least one crew member or not, I'm still not 100% hooked on that idea. But I thought, at least to add some diversity, I would give them different drivers. So Derek does have one, just not in the cab. Otherwise, I don't know what else to say about this model. I feel like I rambled on a little confused. He is a very thin model, to say the least, but when you're building in 6 wide, it's kind of just what it is, what it has to work with. And I do think going 8 wide could work with this model. I think 6 wide puts it in a nice scale with the rest of my engines, obviously because they're all 6 wide. But I think it works. Otherwise, guys, please comment below what you thought. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. Follow me on Instagram, of course, if you want to see pictures. Unfortunately, I've been very busy with work, so even my Instagram's been a little low on activity, but I hope to get more to you soon. And I do have a Building Wellsworth episode coming very soon. I promise. It's just been a struggle to get in those parts. So again, thank you all for watching, and I will see you in my next video.